Meet a seasoned global business executive with 27 years of experience driving business growth and transformation, Kannan Ramaiah. Having lived and worked across 3 continents, Kannan Ramaiah brings a culturally astute perspective to leading rapid growth, transformational, and turnaround environments in multi-billion-dollar technology services, products, and startups. Trusted by CEOs, boards, and C-suite leaders, Kannan delivers expert guidance in business strategy, human capital governance, and corporate governance, creating sustainable, scalable growth and shareholder value. With specializations in business transformation, talent optimization, and risk oversight, Kannan Ramaiah is a resilient problem solver adept at navigating complex, volatile environments. A lifelong learner, passionate about strategy, psychology, and community impact, Kannan Ramaiah inspires innovation and excellence. Please join us in welcoming Kannan Ramaiah to share his invaluable insights.
All right, so even AI couldn't pronounce my name, Kannan. I'm from Chennai. I studied in Coimbatore, worked in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai. Then moved on to UK. I lived in Reading, near London for a few years. And then came to US, been in New Jersey, Princeton for many years, and then Dallas for the last 3 years. So you can call me an urban nomad. I've traveled the world, lived and worked in many places, seen multicultural, and that's my passion as well. That's one. Second, I work for a lot of startup companies, Emphasis, Satyam, After. Wipro for a very long time, 17 years in Wipro. The last 2 years is a company called Blackbox. We are into structured cabling and we do a lot of physical infrastructure. When I joined the company, EBITDA was 3.2%. 2 years ago. Today it is 9.4%, 3 times EBITDA. We touched $1.2 billion market cap last week. We are on a journey to take it to $2 billion in 3 years. Today we are about $763 million. We are a public listed company, so numbers are public. So my experience in the last 2 years has been a lot of challenge and a lot of transformation, a lot of turnaround of the organization. So what I want to share with my community, I'm very excited to be here, thanks to ATEA for inviting, is more about telling our story. What we did in our organization is what I want to do. And Akash, you're a CEO, you're running the entire company, eshipGlobal, a fantastic organization. So why don't you start your story and what you have done?
Sure. Thanks, Kannan. Good morning to everybody here as well. Thanks for participating today and the organizers of this event. As Kannan mentioned in the intro, my name is Akash Vasan. I'm from Dallas, born and raised. A little bit of background about me. I went to school out in California, did my undergraduate in business and computer science, and then did a few years on the consulting circuit and came back and worked in our family business. I'm about 33, 34 right now, but I've been active in our business for almost 15, 16 years. For a lot of family businesses here, you kind of grow up in your business, so I knew what I wanted to do, and ever since I had the opportunity to come back and work and scale our business, it's been a fantastic journey. We primarily serve higher education universities. UT Dallas is one of our customers, is actually one of our first customers almost 20 years ago, and to help optimize and modernize their logistical services of all their inbound and outbound shipping needs, just to make sure goods are flowing in and out of campuses. So my role at eShip is just to make sure that all our teams, all our operations, all our strategic visions are carried out in the most progressive fashion, and make sure that not only are we meeting our internal and revenue goals, but also our customer goals, as many of us try to do. And I think Suresh and Kannan, putting the customer first. So that's a little bit of background about me. And we have a few questions that we want to get into, so I'm going to start there now, Kannan. So in your experience, how can HR accelerate business transformation and scaling startups and growing enterprises from your experience?
Sure, thanks, Akash. I think I'm the only HR guy in this audience, probably. So I'll give you a small story what I did recently. We work with a very large client. We do 200K from the client. And I have a salesperson whom we pay 100K. And what we did in the last 6 months or so is to do a little bit of change. And we I got another leader, about 400K, of course, all the portfolio. The person's working with on a deal which is $40 million. At a 25% gross margin, that is $10 million. And what I'm paying is, 1% of my top line or 10% of GP or 4% of EBITDA. You can do your math, depends on your context and so on. The learning from there is about design first and people second. Especially as entrepreneurs, we all look at building kingdoms and people and structure the model based on people per se. I understand customer first, people first, and so on. My advice would be design first and people second, right? So decide as to where you want to go in your dream, in your entrepreneur's journey, and define as to what you want to have for that organization, and then look at the right people who can translate that vision into action and all of that. So my suggestion as an HR leader, which I do with all my C-suite peers, and I work with my investor very, very clearly. I spend almost every week talking to the investor. And the main focus of all of us is about talent, right? So we ensure that the talent is right for the design. So that's been my learning. I'm sure in your role, you also manage people, you drive the business. What's your take on that, Akash?
Yeah, I think for many of us here, talent acquisition is always top of mind, right? There's only so many hours in the day and so many things that you can do. I think Suresh said it. To be good at one thing, you have to be probably bad at a few different things so you can dedicate the time and the resources to being good at that one thing. So you need people in the right positions. And I think also more importantly, not only do you need good people, but you need to have trust in them and to be able to allow them to carry out your vision the way you want to carry out, but also with a flair of their own, right? And give them that level of autonomy and ensuring that that talent is always there, sharing that vision, sharing the mold that you set out when you started the business or whoever started the business. I think that's key, and that's so critical in ensuring that you're carrying out the vision that business put in 10, 15, 20 years ago, whenever it started. So, great question. Okay, Kannan, can you share some insights from your journey of how you built a high-performance culture? Because I think that's really critical. We're all very busy, and we need people to work. So,
yeah, and you spoke about talent acquisition and people as well. So one of the mantra that I advise, and which is not known very famous, is hire slowly and fire faster, right? So when it comes to hiring and attracting talent, you spoke about culture, trust that we want to build in people and so on. I think there's a lot of chemistry, gut feeling that you have to look at. You can look at industry, you can understand technology, you can hire people who's got numbers behind them and so on. But you need people who can translate your vision into action. For example, if you have a A-class product and you have a B-class people versus you got B-class product or service and A-class people, the success will be on the second scenario, right? So people are so critical. So when you hire people, spend a lot of time. I go out for lunch, I spend multiple discussions with them to really feel that comfort with that particular individual. When it comes to retention, it is very important that you kind of focus on the A players. For example, in a restaurant example, the cashier or the steward is a salesperson, right? Your chef is the product engineering or the R&D person or the person who does all the innovation and so on. Those are the critical roles or the A player roles and so on. So in your organization, find out who are your A players. The top 10, 20% who are self-motivated, so we spoke about, they do the right thing, right? So ensure your top 20% is well taken care of. Your bottom 10, no matter what you do, will never change, right? So there's no point in focusing on the entire 100%. Focus on your top 20%, get the remaining 60% to align to your vision, and then you can attract and retain talent. So the building high performance culture is more about choosing where you want to focus and ensuring your top talent is really covered.
Absolutely.
And how about in your organization? You focus on top 20, top 30. How do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, there's the 80-20 rule, right?
Yeah.
You focus on 80% or where the revenue comes, and oftentimes that's where your top talent is. One of the things that in our business that we really focus on is, especially for businesses that have been around for a while, sometimes it can get lethargic as people go on, right? Your growth is no longer hockey stick growth anymore. It's marginal 10%, 15% growth. So one of the things that we try to do, and we put a lot of emphasis on it, is, we operate every day like it's our last day, right? Every day is our Super Bowl. Every day is our championship. Every day is, we don't know if there's another tomorrow. And I think if you approach your customers, every interaction, every dollar, every complaint that you get like that, you're able to instill a high performance culture naturally versus kind of instilling it on behalf or forcing it upon people. And that's what we do. We come in every day, every Monday, every Friday, of every day, and look at it like it's our last. And I think that's really helped us, especially as your longevity increases. Sometimes it can take some time to, all right, we can take our pedal off the gas, but that's something that we really, really strive for, and I personally and actively work on. Right, I meet with all our top talent on a daily basis just to make sure that they're still doing that, and that they carry that with their people as well. So,
awesome.
Okay. So, Kannan, what advice would you give startups and emerging organizations on developing an effective people strategy?
Absolutely. So I'm a certified board director, so I spend a lot of time with board members, both in public and private companies and so on. Arthashastra says, Yada Raja Dada Praja, right? Like the king are the people. And the Western world, we call this as tone at the top. So I think as entrepreneurs, as business leaders in various companies, you got to set the tone right at the top, right? You got to say as to what you want your people. So they spoke about values, integrity, trust, and all of that, correct? So I think it's very, very important to set the tone at the top for the right priorities for the organization. Number two is about fail fast, right? As an organization, it is not about what you do, but it is about getting the prototype out at the earliest to the go-to-market perspective. And it's very important to do a fail fast approach. Don't get stuck with something for a long time. We heard about, you work with the idea for 6 months when you're passionate about it, just go execute and so on. So do a very, very quick, fail fast approach. And the last thing is about, cash flow. So whatever you do within the organization is irrelevant if that does not create positive cash flow for your business. So ensure that you have a very, very clear view of the wallet share, no matter whether the person is in HR, finance, legal, whichever department that you have in the organization, as entrepreneurs in your organization, ensure that everybody has a view of the wallet share of the customer. Everybody works towards making business sense, right? And we spoke about there is no ego in business. There is no emotion in business. There is no ego in business, pure economics. So if you're focused on economics, your businesses will thrive. That's what I coach my C-suite leaders in the organization. And as a CEO, you know better. So what do you advise for other entrepreneurs, Akash?
I think you hit on one of them is, the tone has to sit at the top and let it percolate down. But one thing that we try to strive is allow some level of autonomy to go the other way around, bottom up, right? You have to set the tone, you have to, set the vision, but you also have to let people buy into that. And oftentimes by allowing them to buy in, they're going to bring in their own ideas. They're going to see things that you don't see. And you kind of have to accept that and be open to it. And I think that's one of the things that I see a lot of startups at the very beginning fail is because that ego, because that mentality, hey, it has to go this way because that's what I want it to be. If they open up and let people in and provide access and insight, I think that's a tremendous asset. And those people are right there, right? You're not doing anything more. And I think my second piece is more from a financial perspective is follow the cash, just as Kannan mentioned. There's only a certain amount of runway that we have, so follow the cash, follow your expenses, and make sure you're not spending more than is coming in or vice versa. And just having a bit of a financial perspective and lens on a business, on the numbers, truly will go a long way. So, awesome.
You're on time and we are good.
Very good. Well, I appreciate the time, Kannan. Again, I appreciate the organization for putting the show on, and it's been a pleasant morning. So thank you all.
Thank you all.
Okay.